TIFU by sending screenshots of a text conversation with my lover to my married best friend. I, 30-something am, was traveling abroad a few months ago. I met up with a woman and things went really well between us. We were chatting a lot on WhatsApp. One conversation was particularly juicy, so I took some screenshots and sent them to my best friend. I didn't know that was a fuck-up until yesterday. My best friend lives in another state, but I just happened to be visiting him and his wife right now. His wife went on his phone to look at some pictures he had recently taken of her, and she saw the screenshots I had sent months ago. She thought that they were of a conversation he was having with a woman, so she had to approach him about it while I'm visiting them. I guess she spent the whole day in emotional agony, waiting for an opportunity to approach him about it when I wasn't with the two of them. But that only made it worse. You see, my friend had totally forgotten that I sent him those messages. I guess a married guy doesn't care much about my dalliances. So, when she was like, "What is this?" he had no idea what she was talking about. He was saying something like, "My phone must have been hacked," because he was totally baffled. Of course, she didn't believe that because it sounds like bullshit. I guess after a long and painful argument, he finally remembered, and had to show her the text conversation between him and me to prove he wasn't full of shit. She was embarrassed and made him promise not to tell me. He immediately told me, then made me promise not to tell her he told me. Then he immediately told her that he told me. She then immediately told me that he told her that he told me. Honestly, I don't think she should be embarrassed. She wasn't snooping, and those texts would have been pretty damning. Anyway, I'm glad I didn't cause their divorce. TLDR. Sent my friend screenshots of an erotic conversation with my lover. His wife found them and thought he was having an affair. My friend forgot I sent them, so his excuses sounded fake. Turned into a big deal before he finally remembered. Edit. I wanted to keep the content of the screenshotted texts as vague as possible, but apparently I kept it too vague and some of you are upset. I think it's silly that you're upset regardless. But let me be clear. The messages were not sexts. She referenced the fact that we had sex, which is why I called it erotic. Also, the screenshots did not include her name or photo, and were in no way traceable back to her. Her message made it sound like she was catching feelings, which is why I sent it to my friend. I was also catching feelings. I wanted to talk to him about that. Love how he immediately told you and then told his wife he told you. They don't know that we know they know we know. She was embarrassed and made him promise not to tell me. He immediately told me, then made me promise not to tell her he told me. Then he immediately told her that he told me. She then immediately told me that he told her that he told me. Is one of the funniest things I've ever read. LMAO. She was embarrassed and made him promise not to tell me. He immediately told me. That's pure comedy gold. She was embarrassed and made him promise not to tell me. He immediately told me. Then made me promise not to tell her he told me. Then he immediately told her that he told me. She then immediately told me that he told her that he told me. Like an episode from a drama series. So she told him not to tell you. He tells you, then he tells her he told you. Then she told you he told her, so in turn you told us. Will you tell him or his wife you told us? By the way, this is great grammar exercise. Basically Ted, Lily, and Marshall. She was embarrassed and made him promise not to tell me. He immediately told me. Then made me promise not to tell her he told me. Then he immediately told her that he told me. She then immediately told me that he told her that he told me. These two are clearly aware that communication is important in marriage. Also LMAO. I love this whole section. I guess a married guy doesn't care much about my dalliances. This is also a great little aside. But this is a wild story that definitely could have ended badly. Thankfully it didn't. Reminds me of that scene from Friends where Rachel tells Joey something like, "But they don't know. We know they know we know," and asks that he not tell Monica and Chandler, and he goes, "Even if I wanted to," man shrugging, tears of joy, tears of joy. Why would he save those screenshots though?
Exclamation mark GIF.
Wow, there's lots of telling going on here lol. I would like to know what happened between you and the lover in question. Have y'all made things official? What's going on there? Him me him her me. I guess y'all got told. She was embarrassed and made him promise not to tell me. He immediately told me. Then made me promise not to tell her he told me. Then he immediately told her that he told me. She then immediately told me that he told her that he told me. The sign of true friendship. She didn't know that you knew that she knew. And this is why you turn off the setting that automatically saves pics from messaging apps to your camera roll. Lol, that is great! Exclamation mark. He immediately told me. Then made me promise not to tell her he told me. Then he immediately told her that he told me. She then immediately told me that he told her that he told me. Literally the same with my best friend XD. I love this.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.